this is Dancing Rabbit, and welcome to another Saturday Pagan Perspective. So, I'm glad to be back. If you've been wondering where I've been the last 6 weeks or so and what's been up and why I haven't been on YouTube, I really appreciate it if you missed my rambling. But check out my personal channel. I've got a vlog up explaining all of that. Okay, right into this week's question from Chenere Vu. Do you think anyone can contact the dead or see the future, or only a special kind of person can? Do you think we all have a gift like that we can learn to nurture, or do you have to be born with it? Yes. I think that it's like any other talent, like playing the piano or painting pictures or being a ballet dancer like one of our former hosts here. I think that anybody can learn it if you've got the motivation and the time, and particularly if you've got a good teacher. But I think that some of us are just naturally better at it than others. We just, have a natural talent for that. So my answer is yes. I would encourage any pagan who is interested in doing work with your departed loved ones or your ancestors. I'll be having a book coming out, I expect in the next year and a half, called Way of the Ancestors, that will be on that particular topic. So check Amazon, put it on your wish list, and buy my books. No. As far as contact, I think I'd have to qualify that. I've never done seances. I've never done the Ouija board, not that I'm particularly against it or think it's a bad thing, I've just never personally done it. So my contact with my ancestors is primarily at Samhain, which is coming up, and it has to do with respecting, with honoring, with remembering, with talking to them. However, I've never heard any kind of audible voice back. And I'm not real sure that I expect to, but I know that some people do, or say they've had that experience. Not my experience. Okay, second question, Anthony Blackthorne, and I understand your account's closed, so I hope you at least watched the video. Can pagans talk to mystical beings and spirits, and if so, will they get an actual spoken response? Well, I think I've already answered the last half. I've never personally had an actual spoken, what seemed to be audible response. I'm not saying that pagans can't or don't. There are some people who work with their spirit guides. I'm not sure exactly how that works because that's not something I've ever even tried to do. But I assume that they are receiving some kind of words, whether it sounds like someone talking to them, or whether it's more, thoughts going through their head, but there's a different, a different tone to it or something. I'm not real sure what you mean by mystical beings. If you're talking unicorns or something like that, again, I've never tried to do that. I routinely invoke my tutelary deities, Caradwin and Cernunnos, and it may seem more like a sort of one-way communication because, again, I've never heard an audible voice back. I routinely invoke the guardians of the four quarters, whom I visualize as animals. I wouldn't call them spirit guides or power animals, but that's how I envision the four quarters. But again, I've never gotten anything back. But I'm not saying that it's not possible, that it doesn't happen to some people, or that some people can't do it on a routine basis. Okay, let's see. Damask Design. I was watching some videos about death and after death, and you briefly mentioned alien life and life in other universes. I was wondering if maybe you could include this in an upcoming topic. I know that everyone seems to have different views on this area. Okay, my personal views are rather rational and skeptical. I have no doubt, as big as the universe is, and as apparently common as planets are, much more common than we used to think, that somewhere out there, there's probably a lot of life. I don't think that there's any hard data yet as to just how common Earth-like planets are around somewhat sun-like stars that would have a broad enough habitable zone and a long enough stellar lifespan to make this likely. Now, we don't have any data as to what percentage of the planets that have some form of life on them, whether that life eventually evolves into intelligent life. We have no data on the ratio between intelligent life and intelligent life that evolves technology. I mean, we have several other intelligent species on our planet, for example, the dolphins. However, they're non-technological, and who knows, probably will never evolve into doing technology. We have no data as to how viable a technological civilization is. How long before advanced technology is developed that the civilization either blows itself up or exhausts all the planet's resources or pollutes the planet's environment and extincts itself? We don't know. So, I have no idea how many advanced technological societies might be out there. There might be a lot, and on the other hand, we may be the only one because of all those factors that I've mentioned. I know that there are folks who have seen UFOs and interpret that as being spacecraft from another planet, another time, another dimension. I've never seen it. I've never personally spoken with anybody who has. I know that some of the sightings, no doubt, are fake. Some of everything's fake. Some of them may be hoaxes. Some of them may be just a mistaken identity of something. But people have seen things flying through the sky that they could not identify. So there's possibility that they are spaceships or time travel ships or interdimensional ships from somewhere. This is not something that I'm personally really interested in. It's not part of my paganism. There are people that are, I would call them a little more New Age than neo-pagan, that this is part of their path. And, I can think that it's a little bit flaky, but as long as it doesn't hurt them and doesn't hurt anyone else, they're entitled to their opinion. As far as other universes, I'm familiar with the multiverse hypothesis, and it's interesting, and the mathematics is way beyond what I can do, but it is a hypothesis, and at this point I'm really not sure how one would test it. As far as we know, faster than light travel is not possible. It's not just not technologically possible, it may not be possible at all. And until we find out whether it is or not, I'm very skeptical about aliens from other worlds visiting us. I'm not sure there's any hard evidence that they have in the past, that they are now, and until the saucer lands on the White House lawn and the guy says, "Take me to your leader," I'm putting that on my way back burner of, remote possibilities but I'm certainly not counting on it. Okay, hope I didn't offend anybody by that, but that's, you asked what I thought, so that's what I thought. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, and so I need to get on to another couple of videos so that I can go back inside and get back to work reading tarot cards. Till next week, this is Dancing Rabbit, wishing you and yours lots and lots of peace.